I came home from a one-day work trip to find out that my 10-year-old daughter had been made to scrub someone else's vomit off a bathroom floor after my relatives put her to work in the cafe while my partner went to the amusement park with his other children. I didn't scream. I did this. 3 days later, there was a violent knock on their door. "Hi, I'm Megan Stone, 36, based in one of those quaint coastal communities where the number of tourists in July doubles the local population. I work as an office coordinator at a wellness center. Badge, dual monitors, 100 emails a day. Patients think I just forward calls and print labels. Truth is, if I don't show up, the whole place crumbles in under 2 hours. You don't see me, but without me. Chaos. I have a daughter, Ella Brooks. She's 10. Sweet, quiet, painfully polite. The kind of kid who says sorry before she remembers she was the one who got hurt. She tries really hard to be easy for everyone, even when she shouldn't. My, at the time, still technically partner is Matt. He's the kind of guy who listens or at least pretends to nods in all the right places. Sighs like he's carrying the weight of the world. Might even offer you tea. Looks like care until you zoom in. Matt had a previous marriage to Rebecca, and yes, that name got mentioned in our house more than mine ever did. She was the one who left. He never got over it. His words said he wasn't ready to let go. Took him a long time to heal. He has 2 daughters from that marriage, Isabel and Julia, 13 and 12 now. He loves them. I don't argue that. The problem is Ella Brooks never really fit into that family photo. She's quiet, low maintenance, and most importantly, not Rebecca's. That part seemed to matter more than it should have. Matt's parents, James and Brenda, own a beachside cafe. According to them, it's a local treasure. They basically live for that cafe. And for their memories of Rebecca, it's like they're still waiting for her to walk in with a bag of muffins and go, "Guess what? I'm home." As for Ella Brooks, they tolerated her like a stranger's kid. Someone hands you for a photo. You can't exactly shove them off your lap, but you're not hugging them either. In their house, Isabel and Julia were the princesses. Ella Brooks, the little helper. "You're such a big girl, aren't you? Come help Grandma in the kitchen." I put up with that for 11 years. Why? Because after I lost my parents, I was desperate for family. I kept thinking it would get better, that they'd warm up to me, or at least to her. Yeah, naive. But sometimes hope is the only thing keeping your head above water. And then I got used to it. Stopped noticing all the red flags. It ended in one day. I had to go to San Diego for work. Just a supplier meeting followed by some evening presentation. Same old people. Same old talking points. Before I left, I asked Matt if he could handle things alone. He waved me off, of course. And I believed him. That's on me. I came home late, almost midnight. The house was quiet. Ella Brooks's room, lights off, bathroom light on. I peeked in. She was sitting in the shower in pajamas, hugging her knees, quietly crying. So quiet, I almost thought I imagined it. But no. I asked what happened. She didn't speak a minute, 2. Then she whispered, "I helped Grandma at the cafe today. I'm really tired. There were a lot of people. Lori was yelling that she couldn't keep up. Grandma said I was big now and I had to help. She promised $30 in dessert if I did well. I tried. I really did. She was rubbing her arms like she was trying to scrub the whole day off. I sat beside her, held her, ran my fingers along her wrists, red, scratched up. What kind of help? I asked. Washing dishes, carrying boxes, sweeping, and then a man. He threw up in the bathroom. Grandma said I'd be brave if I cleaned it. I wasn't scared. I did it. It was just gross." That last word came out in a whisper, like she was ashamed it bothered her. I pulled her closer. "You weren't supposed to do any of that, sweetie." But Grandma said. As the night deepened, the silence in the room grew heavy, punctuated only by the distant sound of waves crashing against the shore. Megan Stone's heart raced as she replayed the evening's events in her mind. The tension between her and Matt was palpable. Flickering candlelight cast shadows on the walls, mirroring the uncertainty that loomed over their blended family. Just when she thought she had a grip on her emotions, a sudden knock at the door shattered the stillness. Who could it be at this hour? A friend or a ghost from the past? The air thickened with anticipation, leaving her breathless. Megan lay in the dark, staring at the ceiling, thinking, "How did we get here? When did I start acting like this was okay? Like it was normal to swallow it all down, smooth the edges, make excuses?" She remembered how she met Matt at a charity fundraiser for the wellness center where she worked. He stood by the wine table, nodding politely, and that rare kind of guy who actually listened. Back then, she was still reeling from the loss of her parents in a tragic accident. She was running on autopilot, just trying to breathe. Matt felt like an anchor, a safe harbor in her storm. But even then, shadows loomed. Rebecca, his ex-wife, was always there, a ghost in their relationship. He talked about her often, sometimes with annoyance, sometimes with hurt. "I did everything for her," he'd say, his voice tinged with confusion. Megan listened, sympathized, and believed him. He seemed like safety, and she craved that. So they got married, but there were red flags. Small, subtle signs that something was off. Like when he'd say, "You don't mind if I take the girls for a picnic, do you? You and Ella can stay home." Ella was just 3. Megan's thoughts spiraled. Was she being too sensitive? Was she overreacting? But the truth was, she felt invisible in her own home. As she lay there, the weight of her worries pressed down on her. She thought of Ella, her sweet, sensitive daughter, who struggled to fit into this complicated family dynamic. All she wanted was acceptance and love. And then there was Matt, caring yet distracted, burdened by unresolved feelings. Torn between his past and present, he seemed to drift further away. Could he really maintain the family bonds they had built? Or was he just pretending everything was fine? The knock at the door echoed in her mind, a reminder that something had to change. She couldn't keep living like this, caught in a web of unspoken tensions and hidden fears. As she took a deep breath, she knew she had to protect Ella and assert her place in this family. But how? The night stretched on, heavy with uncertainty. Would she find the courage to confront the truth, or would the shadows continue to loom over them, threatening to pull them apart? The answer lay just beyond that door, waiting to be discovered. She just started asking to go on picnics with us. She had this dream. Basket of cookies, plaid blanket, ladybugs, but no ladybugs for us. Family logistics. Then Isabel joined a theater group. School plays every semester. Matt never missed one. First row, flowers in hand. He said it was important to show up when a kid steps on stage. And when Ella Brooks had her first art show at the studio, he forgot. Later, he said, "Oh, I thought it was just a class thing. You guys don't have an audience, right? I kept it in, but it stung." Then there were the little jabs from his mom wrapped in politeness, comparisons, hints, glowing Rebecca, nostalgia. Once Brenda decided to pass down the family cake recipe, one Rebecca used to make perfectly. Brenda said, "Rebecca had a real talent for it. But you're trying, Megan Stone, and that's what matters." I threw the cake in the trash. No one noticed. When Ella Brooks was 8, she got really sick. Fever over 103. I didn't sleep all night. The next morning, Brenda came over to check in and said, of course, Rebecca had asked him to take the girls and saying no to Rebecca. Not an option. The kids needed entertainment. Some kids anyway. Ella Brooks didn't count. According to Grandma and Grandpa, 10 is old enough to learn the value of hard work. And by value, they meant unpaid labor in their cafe on a festival weekend. I showed up at the cafe Monday morning, 10:03 a.m. on the dot. They were closed, no customers, no Brenda or James, just empty tables, silence, and 2 employees, a guy from the kitchen, and a hostess with that dead-inside look that says, "I already regret waking up today." I walked in like I meant business. Not angry, not anxious, just with that calm, clipped energy you get before a job interview or an IRS audit. Face on. I'm reasonable. I'm polite. I'm not here to bite anyone's head off yet. Good morning, I said. My daughter, Ella Brooks, was here on Saturday. She worked really hard and asked me to check how she did. I'd love to see the security footage just to tell her she did a great job. Pause. The kitchen guy looked at the hostess. She gave him a shrug, like, not it. We can't really show that, she said. You'd have to ask James. I leaned in just slightly, lowered my voice. Not threatening, just steady, firm. Look, it's just a video. My daughter was here helping. I'm not here to yell, not here to start drama. I'm a mom. I just want to know what kind of day my kid had. Nothing bad happened, right? I'll take a quick look and leave. They glanced at each other. The girl sighed. Follow me. There were only cameras in the kitchen, back hallway, and loading area. No bathroom cams, obviously, so I didn't get to watch her scrub vomit out of a toilet. Didn't matter. I saw more than enough. The footage ran all day. I fast-forwarded with a shaky hand until I saw her. Ella Brooks, tiny in a black apron that hung almost to her ankles, rubber gloves up to her elbows, standing on tiptoes at the sink, reaching for a mountain of dirty dishes, her back straight, arms moving fast. I couldn't see her face, but I know that posture. That's her. I'll be good. I'll do it right. I promise. Stance. James walked by. Didn't even glance at her. Move faster. We slammed. Don't slow us down. Cut to the next shot. She's carrying a crate of glass bottles. It's almost as big as she is. She's wobbling under the weight. No one stops her. Then she's dragging a full trash bag across the floor, barely managing to keep her balance. No one helps. Next clip. Lori, one of the servers, rushes by with a tray and bumps into her. The tray crashes. Plates everywhere. Lori snaps. What are you even doing here? You're in the way. Ella Brooks freezes, doesn't move. Her face turns bright red, and then I see it. She swipes her eyes with the back of her hand. Quick, like she's scared someone might see her cry. No one sees. No one cares. I felt it right then, that sickening punch to the stomach. Not fear, something colder, something sharper, because this wasn't teaching responsibility. This was exploitation, and my daughter was in the middle of it alone. Last clip, late evening. She's standing by the bathroom door holding a mop and a bucket. Brenda is next to her. The camera doesn't pick up sound. Ella Brooks nods, walks inside. That's all the footage shows, but it was enough. I turned off the video, saved a copy, walked out, got in my car, and just sat there, 10 minutes, maybe 15. I was shaking, not crying, not screaming, just sitting there trying to wrap my brain around it, trying to accept that this wasn't an exaggeration, not some overblown emotional misunderstanding, not Ella Brooks helped out a little. No, this happened. While her dad was off in L.A. eating churros and taking selfies with his other kids, my 10-year-old daughter was scrubbing toilets and hiding her tears. The scent of fresh laundry drifted through the house, a familiar comfort, yet it sent Megan Stone spiraling back to sunlit afternoons of her childhood. She could hear her mother's laughter blending seamlessly with the sounds of children playing outside. Those were days when everything felt safe, wrapped in warmth. But now, shadows loomed heavy as she recalled the moment her world began to unravel. The laughter faded, replaced by a chill that crept into her bones, echoing the turmoil of her blended family. Was she still that carefree girl? That evening, she returned home, and her heart sank. Matt was in the living room, knees bent before the couch, a man battling a tough weekend. He looked weary, absorbed in his own world as if everything was fine. "We need to talk," she stated firmly. He nodded, his gaze still distant. "How's Ella Brooks? Did you know she spent all Saturday working in your parents' cafe, while you were at the amusement park with Isabel and Julia?" Her words hung in the air, charged with disbelief. "She washed dishes, carried crates, even cleaned up after a drunk customer. She's only 10, and your mom says it's good for her character?" Matt's face froze, confusion washing over him. "Wait, what? Didn't know. No, you didn't, because it's easier to ignore. Not knowing means never having to confront the truth. As she stepped closer, he rose, reaching out as if to embrace her. Megan Stone. This must be a misunderstanding. I'll talk to them. I promise it won't happen again. Megan recoiled. Your parents don't care about our daughter. All you do is smooth things over with words. You just disappear when it counts. His sigh was heavy with frustration. I get it. It's awful. But they love Ella Brooks. She's their granddaughter. Right. Just like always, another talk, a round of polite smiles, and then back to normal, huh? Did you ever stand up for her when she came home from dinner empty-handed? She pressed. When your girls received gifts and she got nothing. When your mom referred to them as the grandkids but called Ella Brooks by name, you said nothing each time. I didn't think it mattered that much. No, you didn't want to think about it, because deep down, you knew it needed action, but you never wanted to. The room felt charged, words hanging like unspoken truths, threatening to shatter the fragile peace they maintained. In this whirlwind of family dynamics, Megan was determined to protect her daughter and assert her rightful place in this unconventional family. But was anyone willing to fight for their resolve? As the night wore on, echoes of silence replaced their exchanges, leaving the future of their blended family hanging in the balance. He rubbed his face with both hands. It was just one day one. I honestly didn't think they'd make her work. My mom said she'd help a little. I figured what she'd pass out napkins, maybe carry bread to a table. I didn't know about the bathroom. And what about the amusement park? Did you not know about that either? Do you understand how it looks? Taking your two older daughters out for a fun day while the youngest stays behind with a mop and a trash bag. Why didn't you bring her? He swallowed. His voice dropped. You know how car sick she gets. I didn't want her to feel sick. I love her too. Then maybe pick something all your kids can do, not just the ones from Rebecca. Ella Brooks is your child too. Or does she only count every other weekend? He went quiet, just stood there looking for the right words. He didn't find any. It won't happen again, he said finally. I promise. I looked at him calm. No yelling, no crying. And in that moment, I realized I'd been waiting years to hear that promise, and even longer to stop believing it. I'm leaving today. Where? A hotel for a few days. Then I'll find a place. Ella Brooks is coming with me. He opened his mouth, closed it, said nothing. I packed fast. No drama. Ella Brooks watched in silence like she always did. In the car, as we were pulling away, she asked quietly, Are we coming back? I squeezed her hand. Definitely, just not to them. The next day, I called a lawyer, asked what the law says about what happened. The answer was clear. California has some of the strictest child labor laws in the country. And what happened to Ella Brooks? Absolutely illegal. She's under 12. No parental consent. Heavy lifting. Unsanitary conditions. There's video. There are witnesses. Then I filed an official complaint with the Occupational Safety and Health Office. Included the footage, dates, names, wrote up exactly what Ella Brooks told me and what I saw myself. Matt called 4 times. I didn't answer. On the 5th, I texted back. Ella Brooks is safe. We're at a hotel. I'm tired. On the 6th, I blocked his number. I knew he didn't know how to be alone. Not without his comfy little narrative where he's the good dad, just a little overwhelmed. Where he plays peacemaker between me and his parents instead of their grown son who stays quiet while they call my daughter Megan Stone's kid. But I was tired, too. Not, I need a nap. Tired. Bone deep. Soul deep. Ella Brooks was eating ice cream and watching cartoons in clean pajamas. In a clean room, in a place where no one was calling her, the little helper, where she could just be a kid, they thought I was still the good girl, the kind who keeps her head down, the kind who suffers in silence but never speaks up. Yeah, they were wrong. 3 days later, the cafe got a visit. Not from a customer, from labor inspectors with paperwork and consequences. That's when the phone started ringing. First Matt, then Brenda, then some random number I didn't recognize. I didn't pick up. The inspection lasted all day. They interviewed staff, took the camera footage. By the evening, the story was already crawling through the neighborhood, not in the press through texts, voice memos, whisper chains. Something's up with Brenda. Cops at the cafe. Something about a kid. Apparently, someone even messaged me on Facebook from an anonymous profile, of course. Hope Ella Brooks is okay. This is awful. I always noticed how they treated her. Stay strong. The next day, my lawyer called. Apparently, Matt's parents had already lawyered up. They were claiming I got the footage illegally. Private property, no permission, blah, blah, blah. Said, I'd done it behind their backs. And, direct quote, the mother just didn't like that her kid helped her grandma. At her own request, I didn't say anything at first. Then, calmly, tell their lawyer, if they push this, I'll leak the video online, not from my account. Anonymously, let them deal with public opinion instead of me. He was quiet for a second, then said, that's because I'm not scared anymore. 2 days later, Brenda reached out. WhatsApp from someone else's number. First, a message. We never meant harm. Ella Brooks agreed. Don't ruin the family over one incident. Then a voice note. Terry, something about their license being at risk, the fines being devastating, that they were just trying to teach the girls some responsibility. Kids these days are so lazy. Said that she was scrubbing floors at 10 Hyde wearing an apron in her parents' diner. And anyway, don't you want Ella Brooks to grow up strong? I didn't respond because Ella Brooks already is strong. Too strong because she had to be. Then Matt found me at the hotel in the lobby. I was on my laptop pretending to work, pretending to read reports, but all I was thinking was, so now what? He walked over with the same look he always wore, the furrowed brow, that I'm tired but trying expression, holding a coffee like it was a peace offering. Can I sit? I nodded flat. I'm not here to fight, he said. I want to understand. Did you file the complaint? I looked at him. Yeah. He exhaled. Why didn't you tell me? Because you'd have tried to talk me out of it. You realize this is serious. It's not just a family fight. It's their business. They could face real fines. They might lose everything. Yeah. Is that what you want? Did you want your daughter scrubbing vomit off a toilet? He went silent fully. You could have stopped this, Matt. Years ago you could have told them to stop asking Ella Brooks to clear the table while the other kids watched cartoons, to stop sending her out of the kitchen when they baked cookies just with the granddaughters, to stop forgetting her when they ordered matching Christmas dresses. You could have said, hey, she's a kid too, not an afterthought, not the help. He lowered his head. You stayed quiet because it was easier, and now you want me to feel bad. He shook his head. I wasn't perfect, I know, but I love Ella Brooks. I really do. As the sun dipped behind the coastal hills, bursts of orange and purple spilled across the sky. It mirrored the whirlwind inside Megan Stone's heart. Just when she thought she'd drawn the battle lines for her family, the courtroom door creaked open. In stepped Rebecca, the ghost from their blended family's past. Gasps echoed through the room, thickening the air like a brewing storm. Megan's throat tightened. The walls of her family, once built on love and loyalty, felt like they were crumbling under the weight of buried truths about Ella Brooks' real connection to the woman lingering in the shadows. Megan had put everything on the line to protect her daughter. As a hard-working mother, she fought to assert her place in a family that never seemed to acknowledge her. Sure, she felt alone, surrounded by relatives who treated her like an outsider, but for Ella, she would brave any storm. For the sweet, sensitive girl whose smile lit up even the darkest days, she would stand tall. Yet her partner, Matt, carried a burden of his own. Torn between the past and the present, he was the loving yet distant figure who seemed to drift further with each passing day. His caring demeanor masked a well of unresolved emotions. Did he want to maintain the fragile bonds that held this blended family together, or was he trying to shield his own heart from the truth? As he sipped his coffee, offering a peace that felt distant. Megan's heart screamed. Every silence between them grew louder. "Did you even want to save our family?" she asked, voice trembling. The question hung heavy in the air. He didn't answer. Instead, the evening would unravel into chaos as his parents retaliated, claiming both Megan and Matt had agreed to everything related to Ella's supposed role in their family business. The accusations cut deep, painting her as an unfit mother, the emotional one, making mountains out of molehills. But Megan laughed, a soft, bitter sound that echoed in the emptiness. They had forgotten the real story. A week later, their cafe, which once thrived in their quaint coastal community, would shut its doors for renovations, a thin veil covering the pending investigation. Whispers of mismanagement began to spread like wildfire. Finally, as the investigation concluded and the fines tormented their small business, Megan found herself in a small apartment. A new space for her and Ella, with mismatched furniture and the hum of an old fridge that sang lullabies at night. But here, her daughter laughed freely, and that was everything. And in this quiet rebellion, Megan realized she was no longer only a mother fighting for her daughter. She was a warrior carving out a new family story, one where love and acceptance would define their journey. With her heart beating for Ella, she would not settle for anything less. News travels faster than a waitress on roller skates, and reputation, it's like a porcelain plate. Once it's cracked, good luck gluing it back together. 3 months after the court hearing, they shut down temporarily for renovations. 6 months later, it was permanent, bankrupt. Too much spent on lawyers, settlements, damage control. But what really ran out was trust. Matt took less of a hit. But yeah, he still got hit. He's a real estate agent. Was doing well before all this. Happy clients, referrals, Mr. Reliable. Then people started canceling. Some were polite about it. Others, not so much. Wait, are you that Matt? The one whose parents made a 10-year-old scrub puke out of a cafe toilet. He got defensive, tried spinning it into a messy family situation blown way out of proportion. But the internet has a long memory, and so do people around here. I filed for divorce. No screaming matches, no drama. He didn't fight it. Signed everything. The house stayed with me. It was in my name anyway. I think Matt just knew it was over. Now it's just me and Ella Brooks. I finally reupholstered the kitchen chairs, the ones I hated for 10 years, tossed the old curtains, bought a new kettle. Bright red, big spout, small things, but it all feels new. Ella Brooks is almost 12. She's in art school now, working on pieces for her first show. The other day, she came up to me and said, "Mom, I want to draw a comic about a girl who defeats a 3-headed cafe monster." I smiled because I know that girl's going to win no matter how many heads the monster has. What do you think? Did I go too far or just far enough? Let me know in the comments.